Entry 1, 11th of June, 1165. Free at last! Never again will I take for granted what it means to bend limb and breathe air. But what air do I breathe? What land do I flee across? It is my Enroth, surely, but so much has changed in the 10 years I have been my brother's co-track. Made an insensate stone statue by his pet wizard Tenier. If it wasn't for those fool adventurers, I'd still be there now. Tenier, I promise you I will repay the insult one day, and repay it with usurious interest. I have started this journal to help me make sense of the chaos of events. I am a hunted man, but have found refuge in the remote estate of my colleague in the necromantic arts, Nimbus. His apprentices tell me that their master has sailed for Erathia. I wish he had not been wise enough to leave them with so few details. All I can derive is that the Necromancers Guild has some bold plan for Erathia. Perhaps I should join them. Both my hated brother, Roland Ironfist, and his loathsome Queen Catherine are absent. Roland is, by all accounts, taken by strange demons. Catherine left for Erathia 5 months ago to attend her father's funeral and has not been heard from since. Their brat Nikolai sits on the throne with the loutish Wilbur Humphrey standing as regent. Ah, if only I were in position to take advantage of things here in Enroth. It is like a widow's wee berry ripe for the picking. But first I must rebuild. With no nation, it is as if I am once again at the beginning of things. Where are my fellow guild members? I cannot reach them by means mystical or otherwise. If I could only rally them to my cause. Their apprentices are of no help. They are content to work their crude exercises. Amateurs! What endless pride they take in their zombified rats and mice! Bah, the useless things fall apart inside of hours. Pathetic! I really must have a talk with their master. Surely he is neglecting his role as a teacher if his students perform so poorly and expect my delight. The other day I observed one of them fumbling a basic cantrip, one of his so-called advanced initiates. I couldn't believe it. I'm forced to the sad conclusion that either the student or the master was a complete incompetent. I hope for Nimbus's sake that he has had an unusually bad string of luck in finding quality apprentices. Entry 37, 23 October 1166. I find myself aboard a fast and sturdy ship bound for Erathia. How strange are the events that compel me to leave behind my native land. Nimbus returned to his estates, bringing with him a small party of necromancers, apparently all of any power that remained in Enroth. He was gathering to take to Deyja in Erathia, so that they might serve the Lich King Nicholas Gryphonheart. Yes, that Gryphonheart. Catherine's father. The Erathian Guild has made a bold and perhaps foolhardy play for power. The guild leader and king of Deyja, Deathnell, sought to take the Erathian throne by assassinating Gryphonheart and then reanimating him as a lich, bound to his service. Well, he got as far as the reanimation, but the binding did not take. Instead, the lich killed Deathnell. Now Erathia and Deyja have a new king, and the guild has a new leader. Now Gryphonheart has called the Necromancer Guild to his aid, and I and the Necromancers of Enroth are heeding the call. He fights his daughter, Catherine. That is a cause I can hearten to, indeed. Incidentally, this little mission is now my mission. I took it from Nimbus in the guild challenge of dominance. Needless to say, I won. I wasn't surprised by my success, but rather at the ease of it. Really, if Nimbus's powers are any measure of the state of necromantic odds these days, clearly the guild has lost much of its wherewithal since my day. What we need is a systematic program of research, one which will reinstill in us the vigor of the past. It is hard to believe that this is the same guild of Hendenlal or Nebernath. Those luminaries would never have let things become as they have, were they still around. Perhaps it is my destiny to restore our power to its former glory. Entry 143, 5th of August, 1167. Reversals within reversals within reversals. That is the way it goes for the fortunes of kings and would-be kings these days. Or so it seems. In her victory speech, as it was reported to me, I was to be sure nowhere near, Catherine made much ado about stability. True, the dark and vile forces who had wronged her father so were defeated, and her father now lies in the state of natural quietude he deserves, and the people of Erathia can lay down their swords safe in the knowledge that peace reigns instead of terror. Oh, let her think all that if she wishes. Let the peasants think it too. That can but help my cause. For as the lich Gryphonheart replaced Deathnell, so have I replaced Gryphonheart. Catherine faces a more devious opponent in me. What my predecessors used like a bludgeon, I will use as a tailor's needle. The Necromancers Guild, under my leadership, will enter a golden age of advance. Even now, our new laboratory of research is producing new knowledge. And as knowledge is power, so our and my power grow. But all plots must begin somewhere, or remain formless. Perhaps my seed of discontent will root in those fertile, disputed lands? Time will tell, and the telling will be against my brother and his wife. So swear I here. Archibald Ironfist, Guildmaster of Necromancers, rightful King of Enroth.
.3DO.
Master Ironfist, Lieutenant Kalik and Sergeant Piridak reporting.
Proceed.
While dutifully patrolling the beach at Brighton Point as ordered, we detected a large raiding party of 40 elves invading our territory. When the time was right, we attacked.
Oh, how brave.
The enemy fell back before the fury of our attack. We accepted our duty to defend our fair land. We killed at least half a dozen of them before they knew what was happening. The rest ran like pigs from an axe. We gave chase, and I saw with my... What is so amusing, Master?
Nothing. Continue.
Of course.
As I was saying, we were chasing the goblins, shooting them in the backs because they would not stand and fight honorably.
Regrettable, but necessary.
Yes, Your Majesty. We had slain nearly all of the goblins when we saw the sea monsters approaching. At first we thought they had come to help the goblins, but it soon became clear their arrival had nothing to do with the fight on the beach. We ran for cover in the rocks. Each was carrying a bag around his waist, and each was wearing a curious amulet that looked like a small black box.
What? Wait a minute. Go back.
You mean the part where I personally slew 2 elves with a single arrow?
No. After that lie. Tell me about the boxes.
They were about 1.5 inches on a side and made of smooth black metal. We couldn't get a closer look.
Those boxes sound like something out of legend. What happened next?
The sea people began to quarrel, when one group turned abruptly and started walking away down the beach. The remaining started walking the other way. In the morning, we found that one of them had shed its skin on the beach. Their tracks had washed away in the tide, so we decided to return to base and report.
Thank you for your report, Lieutenant Kalik. I am pleased to hear something interesting for once. You are promoted to captain. Assemble a search party at once and find those sea people. If you succeed, you can keep the promotion, as well as your life. Oh, and Kalik, one more thing.
Good luck.
Hello and welcome to Might and Magic VII for Blood and Honor. We've just witnessed 2 alternative accounts of the same events. One given to Archibald Ironfist, whose logs we just read, and the other given to Gavin Magnus. And it details some very interesting things, like those sea people carrying black boxes. But it is something that we will get back to sometime later in the future, once those become more relevant. But for now, we can go forth and start the game itself. Now, Might and Magic VII is my favorite game in the Might and Magic series, and I will let you know why already quite shortly. Well, for one thing, the technology is better. Hopefully I can get EX working. So far I have not been able to do that, but once I can, I will make an episode 0, so it will be an anachronistic episode 0 in that case. If I fail, I will still probably make an episode 0, but we'll see what happens in the future. And I have thought about what party to create, and it was difficult. But I think I have made my decision. So let's do that. So, already, one thing that I really like about this game. We have different races. We have goblins, we have elves, we have dwarves. That is really nice. So, who shall we pick? We have 2 sets of arrows also, which is also really nice. One is for portraits, plus also the race, and one is for the voice. There are 2 different things, and that's quite important. Can I do this? Yes, I can, clear. So, it had some things preset, but I don't necessarily want that. First person on the list.
Pick me. I'm the one you want.
You want to ride high? Ride with me. Pick me. I'm your man.
I am the one you need.
Come on, pick me.
Hey, right here, Chief.
Come on, pick me.
Right here.
Yeah, I think that will be fine.
Pick me!
Choose me.
I'm your man. Tally-ho! Choose me.
Please, pick me.
Come on, pick me.
Hey, right here, Chief.
How about me?
I won't let you down.
Yeah, I think that's the best option that we have here. And, of course, we are going by Star Trek names. And, of course, who better to start off with than Benjamin Sisko. I will use the shorter versions of the names because it just so happens that most of the people that I have don't actually have a really well-defined set of two names. And also, there's not so much space. And who should Sisko be? Well...
Pick me!
Oops.
I won't let you down.
So this is set here. I think... Well, we know... What do we know about Benjamin Sisko? We know that he is the emissary. So, in other words, he is kind of a monk for the Bajoran people. So, Sisko. Monks concentrate on unarmed combat. Monks are second only to knights in combat, and they have access to spells from the clerical schools, spirit, mind, and body of magic when they're promoted to initiate. Also, nice yin-yang symbol. So monks are kind of taken to be more like Shaolin monks rather than the Western monks. So they're here to fight unarmed, mostly. So they start with 2 skills, and they're already new skills that we have never seen before. Dodging. Dodging skill can be used only when you're not wearing armor or using a shield. Additional ranks of dodging will increase your armor class while not wearing armor. So instead of having armor, you get armor by putting points into dodging. And unarmed. Unarmed skill is your ability to use only your hands and feet in combat, no weapons. This skill only works with your hands empty. Additional ranks of unarmed skill will increase your chance to hit. Yes. So, the monk class is a new thing, so you can also see thief. These are the 2 new or completely new classes that have been introduced in Might and Magic VII, and they're really interesting. Very exciting indeed. It also actually reminds me a bit of Might and Magic 2, Gates to Another World, because there you also had 2 similar classes that were introduced. Then we need to choose skills, and these are the available skills for monks. As usual, the starting skill choice is not so important, and it has mostly an effect on how much money we will have, and what equipment we start off with. So, yes, I will choose Staff, because we can go all the way to Grandmaster, which is a new thing here as well. So instead of going to Master, you can go up to Grandmaster, which is even better. And it's really good, usually. In this case, the staff will be usable with the unarmed skill, which is really good, again. Then I can have leather instead of unarmed. And here you can see something else that is new in this game. And that is limits to growth in terms of ranks, considering your particular role. So if you have the role of monk, that means that you cannot get Grandmaster leather. You can, however, get Master leather. So here comes the question. Does it make more sense to have leather and get to Master, or to have dodging and to get to Grandmaster? Well, actually, the answer is quite obvious, because dodging will be usable with leather armor, if we use it. So let's use leather and staff in that case, because I also want to make more use of equipment rather than less use of equipment. Then we have bodybuilding and arms master, still from the previous game. Identify monster is a new thing as well. Identify monster allows you to gain more information from creatures when you right-click on them. Initially, you will learn their exact number of hit points if your skill is sufficient. You can gain additional information at expert and master ranks. That is pretty useful. Not like terribly so, but at least you don't need the Horn of Ross to be able to see how many hit points the enemies have. Just so that we can check. Spear. You can only get up to expert spear. Sword, we can get to expert sword. Dagger, we can get to expert dagger. That's not very useful. Perception is also expert. Identify monsters, expert. Arms master is master. Bodybuilding is grandmaster. That's nice, but it doesn't give us equipment. So I'm just going to go with staff and leather. Right, we have one of our party members. What about the next one? Well,
I'm your man. Tally ho! You want to ride high? Ride with me.
I'm the one you want. Pick me.
Choose me.
How about me? I can do it.
Please pick me. Pick me. Pick me.
I won't let you down.
How about me?
Right here.
How about me? I can do it.
Choose me.
why, of course, we need to have Worf in our party. And who is Worf? Well, I think it's quite... yeah, it's quite obvious that he is a knight. The knight class is the workhorse fighting class. Knights start with the largest selection of weapons and armor, and may ultimately use any type of weapon or armor, being the toughest warriors of the classes. Knights begin with the greatest number of hit points and get the most number of hit points when they advance in level. Knights may never learn spells, nor may they ever learn or need the meditation skill. So, this game balances everything much better than Magic VI. Knights here are actually really useful. They do not have any magic skills, but they are very versatile, and thanks to these limits to growth, they are by far the best at learning all kinds of miscellaneous skills. So they're very useful to have around, because then their skill points can go into miscellaneous skills that you don't really want to waste other people's skill points on, which can go into magic. So this is great, and they start with sword and, for some reason, leather. Okay. And they can learn axe, spear, bow, mace, shield, chain, bodybuilding, perception, arms master. We won bow. Bow is really good. Unfortunately, they can only get up to expert bow, so we will not really have 2 arrows on every attack in this case. What else? Well, we already have a sword. A shield could be useful, chain could be useful. Bodybuilding, perception, arms master don't give us equipment. Chain can be used until master, that's weird. Shield can be used to grandmaster. So since we already have leather, let's take shield. Alright. Who's next? Well, this was a very big consideration for me. And it would make probably the most sense directly to leave the portrait as it is. But I want the greatest diversity in our group. So,
Please pick me.
Pick me!
You need a strong warrior like myself.
Pick me. Choose me.
I'm your man. Pick me.
I'm your man.
I am the one you need.
Pick me.
Pick me.
Choose me.
Pick me.
Come on, pick me.
Hey, right here, Chief.
Oh, come on. Pick me. Please. Pick me.
Well, we have Kai Wynn, who is, in fact, indeed a cleric. Clerics are adventuring, spellcasting holy men. Or women, in this case. A cleric is a mediocre fighter, but an excellent spellcaster, with spells concentrating on healing and defensive themes. Clerics and sorcerers are the only two classes that can grand master in the mirrored path of the light and the dark, and the awesome spells these realms of magic offer. They are, unfortunately, rather limited in their weapons, with mace, staff, and bow being their only choices. Defense is a little better, with plate and dodge skill being the only kind forbidden them. Yes, clerics are my favorite class. They're amazing. We could quite... Actually, it would probably be super easy to play this game with, like, cleric, sorcerer, and... I don't know, knight or something. Because they have a lot of defense and they have not too bad firepower as well, even without their spells. And when they get the spells, then, as you remember from the last game, they become crazy powerful. So, what do we have from the skills? Shield. Yes, they can get to Master Shield. Oh, also, they start with Mace, and they start with Body Magic, and indeed Mace, I think, is the best that they can have. You have Leather to Expert, Spirit Magic, Grandmaster, Mind Magic, Grandmaster, Merchant Grandmaster, again, very useful, Repair Item Master, Meditation, only Master. Alchemy Expert, which is also a new thing. Alchemy skill allows it to mix potions. So before we could do that with anyone, now it's a skill. Without the alchemy skill, you barely have knowledge to make a simple potion, though alchemy skill is added to the strength value of a base ingredient to determine the strength of a simple potion. As you attain Expert, Master, and Grandmaster ranking in Alchemy, you learn to mix more complicated potions. That makes potions actually really good. So this game really helps with this. And we will definitely want to have that. Then we have Learning. Well, I don't want to give Learning to only one person. So it's quite obvious. It's extremely expensive to buy Magic. So we're going to go with Magic. Even if that means that we don't have any other kind of equipment. This will save us a lot of gold. And finally...
Pick me!
Come on, pick me.
Choose me.
Pick me for your party.
Pick me.
Pick me.
Please, pick me.
Choose me. Pick me. I'm your man.
Choose me. You have to choose me.
Choose me.
You want to ride high? Ride with me. Pick me. Choose me.
Please, pick me.
Why, of course, it is Gold Ducat. This combination of portrait and voice is amazing for Ducat. You will see that sometime soon. Also, the voice for Worf is also really great. I have seen people asking whether the same actor voice acted this voice. But no, it's a different actor. Though it's really nice how it actually relates. So I'm really happy with at least these two choices. And I think Kai Wynn is also pretty good with this option. And Cisco, I don't think there's any good voice for him, but oh well. Can't have everything, I guess. Also, the way that we have, so... well, maybe I will explain that a bit later, actually. Let's just first finish reading things. Ducat. Students of the realm of elemental magic, sorcerers, concentrate on offensive and utilitarian magic. Sorcerers are downright rotten fighters, barely able to learn the use of the dagger, the staff, and the bow effectively. They're allowed to use only leather armor, cannot use shield, and have the lowest hit points of all the classes. With that aside, sorcerers can wield mighty offensive spells and have access to the mirror path of the light and the dark, from which come the best spells in the lands. Indeed. So, we start with Staff, up to Master, and Fire Magic up to Grandmaster. And we can learn Dagger up to Expert, but I think that's even the best that we can get. Is it, actually? No, Staff goes to Master, and that's also, it has a chance to stun. So I think we will stick with Staff, if possible. Leather, yes, so Leather goes to Expert. We have Air Magic, Water Magic, Earth Magic. All to Grandmaster, of course. Identify Item, Merchant. Normal Merchant, huh. Identify Monster, and Alchemy. Alchemy goes up to Master, which allows mixing of compound potions to make white potions. Grandmaster is only available for druids, which is very interesting. So, in the last game, as I mentioned, there's no real reason not to play as a druid. In this game, sorcerers are very good because they can get the mirrored path. Druids cannot get the mirror path, so their use is quite a bit more limited. On the other hand, they are still very interesting because of this alchemy choice, and also they're much better fighters as well as better spellcasters in terms of getting spell points. So it's still very interesting to play as a druid instead of a sorcerer, but in this game the mirror path is just so good that I just want to have that. And also, just because of what being a sorcerer allows you to do for Ducat is amazing, and you will see that later. I'm not going to spoil that yet. So, yes, we can choose air, water, or earth. Frankly, that's a difficult choice. I want air for Wizard Eye. Water or earth? I have the feeling that water is generally more useful than earth. I don't remember any of the low-level earth spells, but they're probably not terribly useful. Let's go with water. And next we have bonus points, and we can get more bonus points. I don't think we need quite as much luck. Well, that's useful, but it will be a bit offset later on. So your race determines a few things. One is how the bonus affects your skills. Humans are, as always, not very interesting. The bonus just affects them at a flat rate. And generally speaking, you want to balance out your skills. Dwarves, they are good at might, so you can see that if I click once, it gives a change of 2. So for 1 bonus point, you get an increase in 2, which is really great for the knights. So I can get all the way up to 30. That will make Worf very strong, like Worf is. Intellect is normal. Worf does not need intellect. And he also does not need personality. Endurance. Well, dwarves are also very durable. But when it comes to their accuracy and speed, you can see we change 1, but the bonus changes by 2. So it's not really efficient to put skill points in here. Then again, do remember that it's a logarithmic scale. If you keep pumping points into a particular skill, it's not going to help you so much in the end. For elves, it's kind of the opposite. Might is very hard for them. Thankfully, clerics don't need might. But if you also remove some might, that will not really help you much for the bonus, so it's best to not change it. Then, intellect. Intellect is really good, it goes up by a lot. Clerics don't need intellect, so I am going to remove it, even though it... No, wait, it gives you 2, because you're lowering it, which is closer to what elves... Oh yeah, it goes by 2, because by changing 1, you would need to give up... You get 2 by changing 1 bonus point, so if you lower it by 1, you get 2 bonus points. Yeah. So that's a good deal. Personality. For them, personality is neutral. So I would like to add more, if possible. But let's see. So endurance for elves is very hard. Accuracy for elves is neutral, and speed for elves is also neutral. Huh, okay. But that means that, yeah. Well, I might as well raise personality, but I cannot raise endurance too much, even though it might still be a good investment. Accuracy increases by 2, so that's also very nice to increase whenever possible. Speed increases just by 1. Goblins are good at might. Sorcerers don't really need might, though. So I can lower this. Sorcerers need intellect. Unfortunately, for goblins, the intellect is hard. That makes this choice not optimal, but this game is pretty easy anyway, so I don't mind. Personality, they don't need. Huh. Only 1 point for personality. Endurance is neutral? Huh. Accuracy is neutral, and speed is very good. Let's put up the speed then. So, let's see. Yeah. So, monks also don't need intellect. Personality can be useful, but they're not so great at that. Yeah. So let's increase everything then to 12. And there's no real point in increasing things too much further. Well, I guess I can max this out, because why not? Speed is not so important. Yeah, so let's get to 12 of everything if possible. Accuracy and speed are hard, so let's see. So intellect is hard, endurance is neutral, so let's get to 12. Accuracy is neutral, let's get to 12. Okay, so let's get to 8 for things that we need. So endurance to 8, intellect to 8. And speed and accuracy, they're important, but they're not vital. Yeah. I'd then rather put everything to 13. Okay, next let's just boost our intellect and personality a bit. No, wait, that's 13. Intellect and endurance, rather. Then might as well put something into accuracy and speed. And then let's continue to 14. And I have 3 bonus points left. I feel that 15 is a pretty good number. So let's do what? Yeah, I guess Cisco doesn't have anything very particular. For monks, might is important. Well, speed might also be important. Speed might even be more important. Yeah. So since we didn't boost anything to 30, I think it's fine if we just give Cisco more things. And what else? Personality is good for cleric. So let's do it like this. And yeah, I guess we can just start. And let's forget for a bit about Archibald, and let's just see how our party of Benjamin, Cisco, Worf, Wynn, and Ducat fare in this world of Might and Magic VII, specifically the continent of Integrage, though the manual actually refers to the continent as the continent of Erathia, which is an alternative name for that. Also, you can see that the things are spinning at the right speed and not super fast, which is another nice thing about Might and Magic VII. But anyway, let's just see the intro number 2.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Emerald Island scavenger hunt is about to begin. The list of objects has been given to all contestants. As you know, the winners of the contest will be awarded title to Castle Harmony and the surrounding lands. Be careful. Emerald Island can be dangerous. Last night, 3 contestants disappeared, and we are concerned for their safety. During the contest, please be on the lookout for our missing contestants. If you find a piece of equipment in the woods, return at once with the clue. It may save their lives. There have been rumors that some kind of monster is loose on the island and may be hiding in one of the caves. If you see a cave you are unfamiliar with, don't go into it. Send someone back to town and the guards will conduct a search for you. We don't want anyone else to get hurt. And one more thing. We have... sorry. We have reports that the monster may be a dragon. If you see it, run for your lives.
Alright, we have started Might and Magic VII for Blood and Honor. And I'm just going to save, and that will be all for now. Exciting. So we will start doing things properly next time. Later.